October 13th, 3:02 p.m. Writing co-law officers. You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. DeLite got arrested again. Well, supposedly, Mr. DeLite was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way. Jose. I don't buy it. But the one who proved that Mr. DeLite was there was us. Was Mr. Nick himself. At least from what I can understand. No, you're spot on. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick. Well... I will get started looking into the KB security murder. I think I'm going to head back to Crane Village for a little while, if that's alright. Sure, but why? I'm going to bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with... No, Mystic Maya. You should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together, full of love and happiness. Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy she forgot there's a murder to solve. Sacred urn given to Pearls. Now remember, no fighting, okay? She's gone. Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation. Alright, well, let's examine Charlie! I forgot to look for a Charlie. Charlie. A quite decorative plant. When she was alive, Mia really loved it. She even went so far as to make it our mascot. And how busy I get, I never forget to water this little fellow. Good old Charlie. A reliable Charlie. An old movie poster. Apparently, this was the first movie that Mia made Mia cry when she saw it a long time ago. Maya watched it recently. And she cried all night too. Which I guess is why it's back up on the wall. I'll have to check it out one of these days. Difficult-looking legal books stand in a formidable row. They mock me. They mock me, sir. These are all Mia's. I just realized I didn't buy a single one of these. Just realized? I'm sure you realized that before. It's my desk. I don't get to use it much, so the dust bunnies are starting to mount their assault. Today's it's sparkly clean. I guess Pearls must have wiped them out for me. Good old Pearls. There is a giant building just outside the window. It's the Gatewater Hotel, a high-class luxury hotel. The chain is getting so rich that they bought a whole chunk of the next town over and started building a huge theme park. It's going to be called Gatewater Land. And to think that 2 years ago it was just a little hotel for businessmen. Indeed. Right, anyway. I feel like we have to do them now. Especially the Charlie one. You know, it's Charlie. You gotta say hello to Charlie. Hello to Charlie down in the comments. That's what I want to see. What to do? So, what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder. Well, first, we need to find out exactly where KB Security is located. Hey, why don't we ask Miss DeLite? She should know. Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking getting one, are you? I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Ugh. Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. DeLite. Yeah, I think we should probably see about heading to the detention center and speak to him first, I feel. Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center too. I just said, alright. You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back, huh? You bet. But there's something a little different about it. Don't triple dot question mark at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It clearly says I am on the urn in the poster. But the urn we got back says Amy, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. So is it gonna hinge on the fact that Ron fixed the urn, and there's proof that he fixed the urn? It's probably gonna be it, isn't it? Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. I doesn't know, but 1 year ago, when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Amy's name into I am. It looks like she's doing a great job there. It must have just been like a little bit at the front. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little pearls. Again, look at the urn in the image there. It's not wrong. It's all in the right place. Like, how did she get it wrong after that point? She did so well. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. It's possible that urn is a fake. I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Karain Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Karain Village in a long time. So, guess people still go to Karain Village to do their training, right? Yep, if you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. A channeling dojo? Huh. Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen. So what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in her village happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses the Karain technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. That murder wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. Yeah, you would be. Sounds like being the master of Karain is going to be a heavy responsibility. I do feel like there's got to be something going on with her mother in this one, isn't there? It's just it's got to come to the forefront in this game at some point. Like putting the pieces of like the background information together that I've got so far from this game and the previous games. It's like it's got to have something to do with her mother at some point. Probably the final trial as to where she's been and stuff like that. I imagine it's got something to do with Gadot, because he speaks like he knows us and stuff like that. So it's like he's got to be related to something, which is probably something to Mia, which then implies it's going to be somehow related to like what was said during the first trial with the grey stuff and with Dahlia. Just I'm wondering where they're going to go with that. But for now, we're on this one, so let's see about presenting anything here. I don't feel like we're getting anything new from Maya here in that regard, so let's see about the detention center. October 13th, detention center. Visitor's room. I already told you, it's not me. A sad, pitiful whine that tapers into silence. Sounds like they're interrogating Mr. DeLite right now. Man, and we don't have enough time as it is. Yeah, well, I guess the police are going crazy just like we are. Yesterday they thought he was just a thief, but now they've got a murder case on their hands. Guess you're right. God over there looks a bit on edge too. Come on. We'll just have to come back later. Okay, let's go check out some other place, Nick. Alright, well, we'll see about him though, because it was mentioned. The guard monitors the visitor's room. Looks like he doesn't have much to do right now. I can tell because he's looking at the camera and making funny faces. Oh dear. Doesn't quite match up with what you said. Alright then, Damask's hideout. October 13th, Damask's hideout. Oh, Nicky boy. Maya. Mr. Light, I'm looking around the room now, seeing if anything can, like, point towards him fixing the urn. Because if he fixed the urn, that means he had the urn. And if he had the urn, that means he did take it, which proves that he took it. Because someone dropped it into the paint. That's what we got from that. Someone's dropped it into the paint. And whoever dropped it, fixed it. We need to prove who fixed it. That's where I'm at this point. Mr. Light, all I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. He doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Mr. Light had such a vulnerable side. Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never ever kill anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!" He would never say that. Anyway, Mr. Light, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you, that's just a fantasy for him. It's not though, is it? That's the thing. Mr. Light, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. Where do you think he's getting the money? He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief. The very idea. Guess I just don't get it. Huh? Get what? I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Come on now, Nicky boy. It's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. For me, anyway. What? But for you? Alright. Detective Atme? I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves. No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. There's nothing I hate more than the cowardly man. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atme's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started getting more and more anxious. I went there to try and find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, obviously the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right? I mean, yeah? And Detective Atme knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then you went there to ask him some questions. That's right. I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said, "This detective isn't in right now." But I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. Oh yeah, we saw that bag there yesterday too. And there's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin a crime on someone else. KB security. Mr. Light, do you know about KB security? Don't be silly, of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today... Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron DeLite was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. Ron quit. Doesn't work there anymore. Looks like Mr. Light doesn't know. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away. By motorcycle, that is. Now he told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. Make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves? What a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Mr. Light told us the location of KB Security. Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick. I'll finish questioning her first. So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. DeLite? Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. Oh, well, that makes more sense to me. Saved your life? I was at work one day when two robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl up into a little ball in a corner. so I fought back. Robbers? Yes, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. DeLite come running to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. He went right up to those two knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please, stop it, he screamed. I could see the robbers' faces turn pale. And that high-pitched shriek of his was have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the two robbers. All by himself. He came to save me, a total stranger. All by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. Wow. That's a great story. Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. So romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. With Maya, that possibility always seems to be looming in the not-so-distant future. It's already happened once. It's already happened once. Let's go over to KB... Oh. CEO's office then. Straight to the office. October 13th. KB Security. CEO's office. Wait, so he was inside? Oh, we'll examine in a minute and then we'll get to that because that's just very strange. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick. Just like you'd expect in a CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Oh, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserve, pal. Ho 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 ho. Or something to that effect. Do I really sound like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Now if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. I want to examine straight away first, because it's like... Was he inside? Like, what's going on here? This rope. You think it fell out of the safe and it was opened? I don't think so. So you mean... Yeah, I think this string shows where and how the corpse was lying. You mean... the victim was killed by being crushed by the safe door? She can't be serious. Can she? Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I wanted like A, B, and C. I wanted all the A, B, and C things. Wow, this safe is unbelievable. I bet 4 pearls would fit in there. And it's got a bunch of doohickeys attached to it. It's pretty amazing, alright. Motion sensors, heat sensors, weight sensors. Hey Nick, come on, let's open it up and take a look. If I broke into one of these, wouldn't that set me down the path of Hoodlumville? It's like, I would think, oh, like he got crushed under the safe, but it's like, no, that you can clearly see, like, the white rope. Apparently it's rope, which is quite strange to me. It's like string, maybe, but rope goes into the safe, which is like, ooh. Ooh. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Yeah, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out, just for a second. Oh, nice. Feel just like a CEO. Hey you, whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. I like you, Maya, unlike a certain prosecutor. Ah, this is the life. I think she even wanted scones. Sorry, scones. Quite lovely. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know? Hey! She still wants the tea and scones, though. Sorry, scones. Wow, look at that huge frame photo. Tall mountains rising majestically against a dark and cloudy sky. There's a title written at the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it. This was his best sunrise. However, this guy didn't get out enough, or he really had rotten luck with the weather. Maybe if he lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days. Oh dear. And what is this button, though? Oh, there's a button here. Let's see. Don't press it. Oh, God. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. That was pretty funny. Never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What's that button, anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Oops, you're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. Used to summon security up here. Really? And it's possible on the night of the crime. Oh, so when the CEO was attacked, you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we better go and talk to the guard about this emergency buzzer. Emergency buzzer added to the court record. It's gonna feel significant, especially with a certain Atme who wears gloves. I feel that's gonna be significant somehow. These look like some kind of bookshelf rolling cabinet hybrid. I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like these shelves are controlled by a special panel. So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with a bunch of files. Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading, if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting. Like UFOs or something. Check out this big, thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly backbreaking work. Just a little hard on the eyes. What did you find out, Nick? This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is about Master Mask. It's filled with info on him. What? Kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes. Nick, look at the last page. It's a list. Let's see, tier of Eminom, 100k. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Master Mask stole. So then 100k is the value of the stolen item. I don't know. Number sounds kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. Nothing else. Okay. Right, now let's speak to Gumshoe. What happened? Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the moider. Okay. But the thing is, I'm really not supposed to. I mean, come on. What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now, and we need help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't stop crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Probably an object in this room. Happened at exactly the same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn, huh? So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe. Ah, so it fell out, got it. Safe? Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him. When they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape. Oh, it says string there. Are they on about rope earlier? I'm lost now. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. I think we still need some more information about Mr. Billiard. Maybe we could start by getting the man's name right. Detective Acme. So, what happened to Master Mask? He's at the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigating me again! He keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective Acme? Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved. No, that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Acme was always around when a calling card showed up, but he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just know he was the thief. Yeah. Or so he's setting up his own alibi. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective. That's all. No. But there's this one thing I can't figure about his first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tear of Eminon case. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Oh, it went blue-ding. Yeah, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it. Hey, this guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before? It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... It's clearly Ron, isn't it? Prosecutor Gadot. Oh, that prosecutor, I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. DeLite. Yeah, I think he did it in that way, because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Gadot. He's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office, came out of nowhere. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor, but not his first case. And it's true, according to the records anyway, but no way he's an amateur. He's an iceman in the court, a maverick that gave me goosebumps. So he was a defense attorney at one point, I imagine then. Working with Mia, maybe? Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me, they all just turned the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe, I had no idea you were so unpopular. No, that's not what I meant. That Gadot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. Get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. Maybe it's maybe he was like a pupil of Mia, and Pheonix took his place? Something like that, maybe? Like he was the replacement or something? Oh no, it's like I said, I'm keeping that kind of stuff in the back of my head right now, because it's like, I don't think it's directly related to this case, but it's going to be related overall, isn't it? Right, let's see if there's anything relating to this case that I feel is worth presenting. We got that from you, the autopsy report we got from you. What about that? So about this. Huh? What's that? Hey, wait a minute, Maya. What's wrong? We copied that data without permission. Don't show it to him. He might get mad at us. So, what are you two whispering about? Oh, it's nothing! It's just my billfold. That's a pretty thick billfold you got there, pal. Now I really want you to show it to me. Well, tough. Maybe? Detective Gumshoe, about this right here. That sounds vague and nothing. Sorry, it's hard to believe, but there's a limit to how much my brain can hold. Got 2 ears and 2 eyes, but I only got 1 brain. You can see your eyes and the ears, but the jury's still out on the brain thing. Hey, Nick, if you have something to say, just come out and say it. This is proof that Ron DeLite was here at the crime scene when the murder happened. His wallet and his keycard, huh? Okay, we don't need the wallet for that. I think we need to ask Mr. DeLite some more about those 2 things. Well, I was going to. Okay. Yeah? About this blackmail letter. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it too, pal. Why would Kane Bullard have been blackmailing Ron DeLite anyway? Mr. DeLite used to work at KP Security, right? What was it that made him quit? Nick, that's it. I've come up with a new recipe, and maybe that's the same reason he's been blackmailed. Well, I'm in the middle of investigating that right now. Oh, alright. That all feels related to the other situation, so... Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bluebard. That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal. Oh, yeah, the victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now. Okay, Nick. Now's our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask. I just did. Detective Gumshoe, what about this person? Sorry, pal. To be honest, my head is so full right now it feels like it's gonna burst. Note to self, keep hair away from Gumshoe's head. Who am I? Did I say hair or hand? I always knew there was something suspicious about this guy. And I was right. Turned out that Damask was really that ace detective in disguise. You really thought that? Huh? Of course! It's the stone cold truth. Sooner or later, a guy like that always shows his true colors. Yeah, well, I think we saw a little too much of his colors today. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. I always knew there was a... Yeah, alright, that's gonna be the same again. Alright, so let's now see about heading back over to the detention center and seeing if there's anything going on there. Unless... the victim. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard? He was the CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway? Well, the company basically sends security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too. I just love money. I can't ever get enough. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions. Oh, so that's my problem. I need to be shiftier. Let me go already. Apparently he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies. Oh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded. Yeah. Oh, KB Security used to head security operations against Master Mask. What? Really? Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? Right, let's go see about speaking to... Let's head down to security, that'd be a good idea.